everybody. Welcome to another live happy hour at ATG. As always, I'm Scott. I'll be leading you through this adventure. Hopefully we'll cover some cool new things we've got in the shop and showroom and see what kind of crazy questions you guys come up with this month. So anyways, first welcome everybody to the live session. Hope you're all doing well in these crazy times that we're still living in. Everybody here at ATG is doing good. Even Izzy and Brady are making it through these trying times. So hopefully you've all got a drink in hand and a bar set up for those drinks so that we can enjoy some time together. So one of the cool things we've got going on, we mentioned last month, and we've been mentioning over emails and social media, is that we're moving to a design center here at ATG. Once barn season gets over, we'll start actually building walls out and stuff in the showroom here. We have plans. My 12-year-old niece was in town last month visiting, and she's aspiring to be in engineering design of some sort. So she laid out the new design center for us, and we have drawings and stuff from her. So we're looking forward to getting that put together. So we're going to take you into the showroom where we've got several new items for our furniture line that'll be part of the new design center. So we want to show you guys what's sitting around and get your creative minds boiling so that we can do some custom projects for you. So let's take a walk into the showroom.
Before you move, we are converting the showroom into a design center. Can you talk about what's happening with the rest of the stuff in the reclaimed warehouse?
The rest of the stuff in the reclaimed warehouse is just like it always is, here and available for you anytime. Just need to set up an appointment to come in and see us. So nothing out there is changing.
Okay. And we had promoted that there would be a big announcement tonight. You didn't really say it with a whole lot of zest, so I'm not sure people picked up on the fact that it's a big announcement. Want to try that again?
So when we go in the other room, we'll make the big announcement. Give everybody time to get on our live stream. So we're bringing you into the showroom here and blinding you because our camera person doesn't get paid very much, so therefore it's not as top notch as it probably should be. But the big announcement is our furniture line that we've been hinting at and talking about for a couple of months now. We've got some cool new pieces here in the showroom to kind of launch into that furniture line and the design center. Pay no attention to Izzy because she's chasing the shiny objects and shadows because of the wonderful sun we've got coming in. But Jamie's got you on one of our new king-size headboards. So hopefully you can see that well in the sunlight. So if you need a headboard for your king bed frame, then this guy is perfect for you. And then we're going to switch over to this wall. And we've got two nightstands / end tables, depending on how you would like that. Let's see if the lighting works. And with an accent light for you. This is a queen size headboard where the king was all wood. The queen size, we've incorporated some, you've got the barn wood plus the rusted metal roofing from the barns. And the guys in the shop, we've coined this one the S&M edition because of the nice accent chains here. So if you've got your pink fuzzy handcuffs available, this might be the perfect bed for you guys. So anyways, these beds are examples of headboards that we could build for you, or full beds with footboards on them. But these are examples, and part of what the new design center is you come in, if you like what you see here, great, take it home with you. If you don't like what you see, or the size is wrong, or the color, or whatever, we'll sit down and we'll design you one and build you one that fits your specifications.
Can you talk about how these were designed to have your bed frame bolted into them?
Yeah, so the bed frame will bolt right onto the headboard itself, and or if you need to, you could screw this right to the wall. So it kind of depends on the frame that you have going.
Yep. And depending on the size of your bedroom and the size of your bed, very easy to add a footboard and side rails and create that look as well. Not everybody has that much space in their bedroom, so we started with just the headboards.
Correct. So we're going to move over around the cool piano here. We've got an example of one of our dining room tables. This one, let's see if I remember off the top of my head, which I don't, is 38 by 84. These were old 8 by 8 barn beams that we had built down to 3 inches thick, and then built the trestle underneath out of 4 by 4 barn beams. Put a little design element into those. So this is a cool piece that would sit in the dining room for years and years and years and pass down to the kids.
Somebody asked me yesterday how much that thing weighs.
How much does that thing weigh? This one's, yeah, you're probably 350, 400 pounds. Not as bad as one we did for a client. We did a custom job that was 54 inches wide and 9.5 feet long. And that took 4 of us guys from the shop just to carry the top into their house to install it. So this one's, you can do this with 2 people without problem. So we're going to move just beyond the dining room table here, and we've got a coffee table. So the coffee table with some oak barrel staves as the legs with a center support. So that's a cool little piece if you need something to go in front of the couch or the chairs at home. You can put your feet up on it, nice and durable. Kick it around, got lots of character, can't mess with it. So if you need a cool coffee table, this one's the one for you.
I'm guessing not everybody knows what a barrel stave is. Can you enlighten us?
A barrel stave. So hold, I'll be right back.
While he's doing that, I'll give you a closer view of the table and Izzy, because she thinks the sun reflecting off the phone is great fun.
So here's a barrel stave. If you've got a wine barrel or a bourbon barrel, this is what a stave looks like. These guys here are wider and have been cleaned up and somewhat planed down, so to speak, sanded down. This guy, I don't know if you can see it in the sunlight or not. Try and get, still has all the ring marks in it from the metal bands that used to be around the barrel. But that's what a barrel stave is. It's got the char on the inside. So, example of a barrel stave.
And where did the barrels we have held what?
The barrels that we did have that were out of stock right now, those were originally bourbon barrels. And then they came up to Michigan and were used at Saugatuck Brewing to age beer in. So we're going to move on over to the corner here. We'll call it the pub corner, since we've got examples of 2 new pub tables that are in stock and ready to go for you. You can come pick them up. These guys are 8 by 8 barn beams, 3 by 8 legs that used to be floor joists in the barn. And then the tops are made out of 3 by 8 floor joists also. We've got the metal ring on there so you can put your feet on it, have a grand old time in your bar. These guys have 2 different styles and color to them. This is a darker brown, and we've got more of a white contrast of the brown to that one there. So we can change colors, we can do different designs, we can make the tops bigger. Whatever, suits your fancy for your room, your house, we can certainly make those things happen.
I see a fair amount of difference, and it comes through in the camera view in that beam that is the main support. Can you talk about where the character of these comes from and how that makes every piece unique?
So I'm assuming that Jamie's looking at this one and she sees here that this end is shaved down. So this, if you can picture this beam on in the ground floor of the barn that had the shaved part that you see here, there was another section of that on the bottom that we cut off to get to our 42-inch pub table height. So that section would have been down there, and that piece sat underneath the main beam of the floor of the barn. So you had an 8x8 coming up, and then this piece here was sitting underneath, and you can see where the 8x8 attached to it. And that was underneath the main beam that was running the length of the floor, holding up the main floor beam. And the joist, the floor joist running the opposite direction, would have been sitting on that main beam in the barn. So that's why you're getting that cool character here. And you don't see it on this one because it's obviously a different beam.
Are those two different materials as well? Two different types of wood?
No, these are both Douglas fir. So same type of wood. This one is the clear coat, and this one actually has a Ruger Brown on it.
You know what else I'm noticing as I'm looking at the end cuts to the tops is there's some really cool character, especially the one you're leaning on right now, with the rings and some what I'm guessing are insect holes.
Yeah, so the character that Jamie's talking about, obviously we don't have round boards, so we have to create this circle. The unfortunate thing as you see on this or on the end of a beam table, you get that end grain. Now, the end grain can be really cool because of the old growth lumber that we're using, so it has different patterns and stuff in it. But you lose some of that rough sawn character that you see on the top. So we once we get done cutting those and sanding them and shaping them, we kind of put a little bit of that character back in. Some of the holes you're seeing are from insects. Some of the round holes here, those are post-barn beetles that put those holes in there. Oh,
Yeah, you're creating a shadow.
And then some of it is just when the machining process of making the top, the wood pops out. So you get some holes there too.
And I'm seeing some metal on the foot rails here that I'm guessing we didn't make.
No, we didn't. We're not that talented to bend a rod like that. So we work with a couple of different local metal guys that help us out with our metal fad.
All right. What else do you want to show us?
Behind me is a example of a barn door. This one is not available, so don't chime in. We can build you one just like this. This is actually a custom build for a client. This is going on their pantry. So it's the barnwood created the door to size to fit their pantry. We're waiting on the hardware to come in. This is Ruger Brown. We used a wax finish on it. So this will get two rollers up on top and then a straight rail that it rolls back and forth on. And that'll be installed in their new kitchen for a new build house.
So you just mentioned wax, which I think is different than the finish that's on the bar tables. Tell us about the difference, why you chose one versus the other.
The main reason that we chose for this one, Ruger Brown, is that the client wanted a specific color. So in the example of this pub table here, this is the natural color. So we just clear coated it with a polyacrylic, and that brings out the natural character of the lumber. If that style doesn't suit you or it doesn't go with a color palette in your house or whatever, then you can't really stain rough sawn lumber. It just doesn't work. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So we use a wax product that we sell here in the shop. So if you like to do your own projects, you can come in and buy the wax. But we use the wax product to change the color in order to meet our clients' specific needs on color. So,
And why do I love the wax?
this is one of those stumping questions I'm sure I'm supposed to know the answer to after 22 years of marriage, but
It was just 22 years.
yeah, just 22 recently. But I'm not sure where you're headed with that one.
Because it's easily renewable. So if it's a surface that might get scratched easily, like a table, the wax is so easy to fill in scratches and you'll never see them. Where some of your other polyacrylic finishes, if they get scratched, they're just scratched. There's no easy way to fix that.
Yeah. All right. So now I know where she's going with it, and I can talk about it. Yes, the wax is a renewable surface. You ding it, you scrape it, you scratch it, you just put a little more wax on and you buff it back out. And judging by her reaction to me talking, somebody's chiming in with some kind of stupid question for me.
Yep. Larry would like to know if the wax works for bikinis.
I do not know off the top of my head if it does work for bikinis, but if you want to come in, we can try it out and we'll see what happens.
I would dare say, given the consistency of the wax, it would be a better lubricating factor than it would anything else.
So yeah, we can make that into some kind of. We could probably do that on a Facebook Live session sometime if anybody wants to volunteer. So we've talked about the doors, the bunk tables. In the background here, we have some light fixtures. So not only do we build stuff with lumber from the barns, but we also take old cool things from barns and houses and stuff and electrify them, and turn them into light fixtures. So the one in the back is an old beam, and this
Wait,
is,
I can't see that. Hold, please.
Jamie's going to zoom in. We've got an old beam for a base, and this is actually a tire iron. If you can see that's the old where the lugs used to go in. And so where you used to put it over the lug nut, we put in a fixture, a socket, and then this is an old work light housing to go around it. And then we've got the old cloth wire, which is new wire, but the old style cloth wrap. The example next to it is really cool. This is the old timer off of an oven. So you used to set this when you were baking the stuff. It's got the porcelain finish on it, and it had a light in it. We've obviously updated it, put an Edison bulb in it, new wiring and guts and all that fun stuff, and just mounted it on a cool 8x8 beam that's got a nice mortise in the front. So all kinds of cool different types of things that we can do with products that we have here. This guy here happens to be sitting on a cool piece that we don't know the exact store from Kenosha that this came out of. We know it came out of downtown Kenosha.
Switch with me. The sun is not working.
I'm going to switch sides for the camera.
That didn't really help.
So we know it came out of downtown Kenosha. I'm guessing it was a clothing store. My best guess would be a men's clothing store because these glass front drawers probably either had ties in them or socks. That's my best guess. Anyways, we got this out of a local estate. And so we put it barnwood top on it and a barnwood bottom, both of which came from barns out of St. Louis, Michigan. And then on the ends, we have lath that came out of the old Renaissance book store up in Milwaukee. It was the big, tall, 4-story bookstore downtown. And then we put it up on a set of hairpin legs so that it could be used as a sofa table, an entry table, something cool. If you've got little knickknacks to display in the glass, it would work out great for that type of a thing.
Tell me about this little table that you hate.
So this is a cool little table that I guess I hate. Anyways, this is just kind of a cool, it's called the lean-to entry table. It's got a newer piece of lumber for the table itself with an old 4x4 beam and some new walnut legs on it. Just kind of a cool little accent table you could have just inside your door, tucked into a nook somewhere that you're not going to use all the time. This has got an old a ring on it from the barn, so that would have, you would have had to probably hook a cow or a bull to that so that they couldn't get away.
Definitely more modern than a bunch of our pieces.
Yes, it has a cool modern twist to it with the old. For some reason, the guys in the shop love to, when Jamie and I go on vacation, we always come back to some newfangled thing that's been built in the shop. So that was one of those that we came back from Germany, and this guy was here along with the, I don't know if we've put it on an episode yet, but the headlocks, the old stockade. So the guys are always up to crazy things in the shop here, so never know what we're going to find when we come back from vacation.
All right. Bill, I know you collected some questions in advance. Any questions you want to bounce off of Scott?
Should I do a song and dance while we wait?
Bill, that whole question's not showing on my screen for some reason. Oh, here we go. So we talked recently about reclaimed wood and how it averages between 50 and 100 years old, almost as old as Scott. How old is Scott actually?
Scott is 46.
Dear God, I wish you hadn't asked that question.
Scott's 46.
He's actually 45 by conventional standards. He has his own way of doing birthday math. Would you like to explain that?
So here's the problem with the rest of the world. And there's very few of us intellectuals that actually exist and understand that when you are born, you're in your first year. You're already your first year. Nobody ever says this is your 0th year of college or your 0th year of high school. You're in your first year. So I'm in my 46th year. The conventional world seems to think it's 45. Stupid. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm 46. The rest of the world thinks I'm 45. I love being older than everybody thinks I am. It's great.
Thanks, Bill, for that question.
If anybody needs me to do the math for them, I can do that anytime.
No.
Explain that.
Nope. It's all just makes sense to you. What have you been up to lately? Has it been busy?
So we're taking barns down right now. We're almost finished with our first site. Shooting for the end of next week to be done with that site, and material starting to come into the shop. And then we move on to our second barn for the year. The shop here has been crazy busy in the month of July, which is wonderful, seeing what's going on with the times. We love having you guys come down. We've got clients that are just stopping by and knocking on the door when Mike's around during the day. You're always more than welcome. We've got clients that call 15 minutes ahead of time and say, hey, can I come in? And we're like, sure, come on over. We have clients, we had a client in today at 1 o'clock that called us yesterday and said, hey, can I come in at 1 tomorrow? Perfectly fine. So we love having you guys here at the shop. We do appointment times, so if you're worried about being here with other people, we can make sure that you're the only one here. Just let us know that. Otherwise, you've got us in the shop and yourself cruising around looking. We've even had we had a lady last weekend, a couple that were in town visiting. And so they left us a message on Sunday and said, hey, we're going to be in town for 2 more days. We want to swing by the shop and check it out. Can we set up a time? So we called them Monday morning. They came over Monday midday, like 1-ish or so, and they found some cool items to take back with them. So that's always fun. We had one of our favorite clients that used to live in Kenosha that now lives in Asheville, North Carolina, stopped by last week, I think it was. Just out of the blue, they called up and said, hey, I'm in town. And every time she's in town from North Carolina, she still comes back to see us. So we love having you guys at the shop. You're more than welcome anytime. Just let us know.
It has been crazy busy here because I sit upstairs to work. I don't work here full time, so I sit upstairs in my job and work. And I've been hearing the doorbell go, and I hear people's voices down here. It's been a lot of fun to have that much activity back in here lately.
Good to see you, everybody.
What's the latest on barn teardown, and is there another one lined up?
So I'm pretty sure I just covered that, and the fact that we're almost done with the first set of barns, hopefully end of next week, and then we move on to our second teardown. So we'll be getting you some pictures of the new one once we get started on that.
Are there only the 2 sites this year?
God, yes. It's entirely way too damn hot out there to do it. Today was brutal out there. It was 88 and sunny. Larry and I roasted out there. As you can tell, we're all red. Don't have much sunscreen left, so we're going to have to get on Amazon and order some more of that.
How is your trusty partner, Larry, these days?
Larry's doing good. He's kicking right along. He's losing some pounds.
That'll happen when you're sweating it off every day.
Yep, he sweats it off, and then he hops in the pool and puts it all back on with his Bud Light.
I see.
Because that's what happens when you drink Bud Light. You gain weight.
So you mentioned, here we are back on that topic. You mentioned sunscreen. Do you buy stock in sunscreen? How much have you gone through already this year?
I mean, I don't really want to get into my investment portfolio, but yeah, there's a lot of sunscreen that gets used on a daily basis around here.
Sunscreen and bug spray.
Yep. And ticks. Don't forget your tick spray.
The all-natural variety, because I make it with essential oils.
Yes. She wants to give me a tick collar like the dog, but I refuse.
Would be hysterical. There's a side comment that says, that's why Scott recommends old style for the refined beer drinker.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that comment.
What's in your trusty cup tonight?
As advertised in the pre-edition, this is Captain Morgan and Coke in my Pepsi cup.
That you've had almost the entire 22 years we've been married.
Still going strong.
Would you like to tell people the first thing you ever said to me?
So we're getting into that.
I mean, we might as well.
We must be buffering for time or something here. Jesus. This goes back to college. Jamie was in the elevator going up to class. I was in the elevator, and the first thing I ever said to her was, "What's wrong? Can't your lazy ass use the steps?"
True story, folks. True story.
So, and that, I guess, for some reason was a pickup line or something, because we've been together for almost 26 years now.
All right. Is there anything else? Yeah. Comment. Wow. Smooth talker.
I got all the best lines.
Is there anything else you want to share, or Bill, any other questions hanging out there? Or anyone else have any questions they want to type in?
We do have some fun stuff from the barn that we're on right now, the barn site, and we'll be sharing it whenever Scott gets a chance to actually get.
Do not talk about yourself in the third person.
I love to talk about myself.
It drives me bonkers.
Anyways, we found some really cool. The farmers were notorious for insulating the walls with anything that they had available that was cheap. So newspapers was always a good one, and so we found editions of the Chicago. Let me see if I can get this right. Hopefully we'll back it up with pictures, but I think it was the Chicago Journal evening. They had an evening and a morning, because we have pictures of different ones. There's also a Milwaukee Journal, and then Kenosha something, but dated back in the 1800s. So we'll be getting those out. We found some more cool bottles that we'll be getting you pictures of and checking out. So always fun to find cool different things in a barn site.
All right. I have not seen any other questions pop up. So if you don't have anything else, I think we are done for the evening.
I think I'm good. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I hope you had a drink, enjoying to join me tonight, and we look forward to doing it again next month.
We know Larry had a Bud Light and Bill had an Old Style.
Well, I'm in great company, Bud Light and Old Style.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Stay safe.